Hey everybody, PSV60, back for the third and final graveyard in Turok 2's River of Souls. Now you saw that gate in front of us was closed, which means we're going to have to go into these two little side areas and horribly miss Lords of the Dead with Mag 60 shots for a minute. This graveyard is significantly more complicated than the other graveyards have been. Something tells me tranquilizers aren't going to do anything to undead. I'm not even going to bother trying. And you can see at the bottom the graveyard gate's now open. So we had two Lords of the Dead in that first area to act as Turok's standard of living keys. And I'm just getting ripped apart by just one or two dead men. Now going into this second area, we can again see that that doorway that was facing us when we walked in was closed. Which means we've got to do the same thing, except we've got so far two Lords of the Dead on this side, and I'm gonna guess there's two on the other side, doubling what we've got to kill before we can open that door. Let's just check back in the nooks and crannies first. Okay. Looks like it was just those two on this side. Now, I hadn't quite shown this off before, but we just killed that guy, and there's already another one here to take his place. The dead men respawn extremely fast, which is exactly why these areas are so dangerous. And why that first one was the first time I've died in this LP. At least my aims have been improving. Now, we've just taken out all three Lords of the Dead, and we didn't see a thing that said the graveyard gate was open, because we need to come in here and hit these switches. Killing the Lords of the Dead in this one... Oh, that didn't really... Damn it! I think I'm gonna have to take back what I said about my aim was improving. Anyhow, killing the Lords of the Dead in this area, rather than opening the graveyard gate, just opens these little crypts. Some of them have health in it, like this one did, and others are like that first one that I went into that has a switch in it. Once we find enough switches, we can open up that graveyard gate. So we're probably going to need at least one more on this side. Or maybe we'll need two more on this side. Not one in here. There we go. Now we can make our way into the graveyard proper. In here we have yet more Lords of the Dead. I'm not really sure why they chose the third one and only the third one to kind of load up with all of these extra little gimmicks. Considering the first two graveyards, it was just kill the Lords of the Dead, Sister of Despair shows up, kill Sister of Despair, and leave. And this one's kind of the same way. I'd better go back for some more health. And ammo, definitely. This will not be the first time I have to come back for more health. Or more ammo, for that matter. Well, 50's not a bad amount. Anyhow, as I was saying, I'm not really sure why they chose the third one to introduce with all of these extra gimmicks, being killing the Lords of the Dead opens up side switches, and then switches open up the next area, which is followed by more Lords of the Dead and more switches, which we haven't gotten there yet, but spoilers, it's gonna be more Lords of the Dead that we're killing now, followed by more switches. Not those doors. And not those doors yet either. We've got more Lords of the Dead to take out first. There it is. Gotta make those shots count even at the expense of my own health. Yep. Let's go back for another refill. There we go. Back up to 50 again. How did it hit me around the corner like that? Oh. That's the last of these bullet sponges. So we've gotta, like I was saying before, jump in the crypts, find more switches. Except this time it looks like we've got a few more. I've never been an especially huge zombie movie fan. Turok 2 is not particularly helping that matter any. Considering the first two graveyards were pretty similar in size and scope as far as sub-areas go. This last one is massive comparatively. And actually takes up probably about half the video. And there we go. And hitting those 4 switches opened up another graveyard gate. And I seem to be stuck on a dead man. Again. Yeah, that doesn't look like it's doing anything. There we go. The graveyard gate that it opened, though, is not the graveyard gate to the next area yet. Well, not completely. We're going in here. Looks like a keyhole. Yeah, that's a keyhole. Well, we'll be back in a minute. For starters, we have to come in here and hit more switches. Hitting these 2 switches will respectively open the doors to those larger crypts in the area that we just left. So we jump in here, into these, what looks like living areas, complete with coat racks hanging on the walls, and some extremely large tables. But we're here for that Lord of the Dead. Guys, get out of the way. Please. Thank you. You too. Oh, whatever. Let's just ignore him. And we can see that floating cube behind him. That's actually a key. And that didn't do enough damage to these things. Maybe we can sneak beside him.
Your health is dangerously
Apparently
low.
not. And now we need another health refill. Alright, I bothered to refill my health above 50 that time. Hopefully 70 will be enough. I'm apparently going to need to go back for more ammo if I keep missing like that, though. And it doesn't look like the explosive ammos really did much in the way of damage to him. Now, if you remember, there were 2 keyholes. Which means we're going to need 2 keys. And I just don't care about the dead men at all anymore. So just run in, blast this guy in the face, grab our key, and let's get going. One key. 2 key. And we now get a walkway that we can walk across right through this horrible, horrible water. Where we are finally greeted with the Sister of Despair, number 3. Who thankfully has exactly as little health as the other ones do. Oddly enough, we can't walk through these gates, even though we could walk through the gates on the other side of this little, moat area. But there's a door back here, and the door's going to give us something nice, but we want to get our health as high as we can before we manage to go back there. Just please jump up. Please. Turok, thank you. Alright, well, Turok's probably tired after all that zombie killing. And we're apparently not quite done with zombies yet. This jumping up here gets us another Lord of the Dead that I have about as much apathy as you would expect me to at this point for. No? Nothing else up here? Alright, well, we're gonna go back here and collect our real prize.
Ultra health.
There we go. Now, unfortunately, picking up that Ultra Health spawns in a few extra roadblocks for our backtracking out. Like another Lord of the Dead here, which I can't sneak past. Lovely. And he's gonna take a good, probably close to 50 points off of our Ultra Health before we manage to get past him, because I tried to just kind of sneak my way around him. Now, that other fireball noise means there's another Lord of the Dead that spawned back there. And we've got a third one over here. And you know what? 19 shotgun shells is about as good as 20, so let's just get out of here. We serpentine our way out and try to avoid all of the blood flying at the back of our heads. And as we book it back to the entrance, in a desperate attempt to flee this living dead nightmare, we can leave behind the third and final graveyard. And I am not sad at all to see that go. You know what, we're up top here, so let's just jump down to this poor draw distance and hand in our eagle feather and see what we get for it.
The spirits accept your offering, I grant you the Leap of Faith talisman. With this talisman, you may leap great distances simply by standing on the talisman pads.
Thank you, great ancestors. And with this, we can go back into level 1 and grab that that metal kind of hexagonal looking key that we found. And we can grab the ultra health that's in this level. You know, just in case we want it at this point. I really don't feel like going back for it, personally. Because there's really not much level left. Was that? Oh, a save point! That took me long enough to notice. Well, let's make use of it quick. There we go. Now at least I know we won't lose too much progress if I screw up horribly. Although considering the last teleporter that we took was to come out of the Leap of Faith Talisman Chamber, I guess I really wouldn't have lost too much progress to begin with. But if you remember this jump that I just kind of fell off of before, going across it leads to this little tucked away area with this switch. And that switch is pretty much the main thing that we needed to be able to leave. As there's not really a whole lot back here through this blown up wall. Yeah, nothing... Well, we got a ladder at least if we fall in, but I'd rather not fall in. Considering the shape and the design that's on that Leap of Faith talisman that we just picked up a little bit ago, we can probably safely assume that those little spots on the ground are for yet another talisman, which we're probably going to get in yet another level. And I'm assuming that's going to let us be able to swim through that putrid, horrible water. We just got to try to find the way out of here. I hit that switch down there before. That switch has to open up something else. Okay, no, we're back here where the graveyard was. Was there something else back this way, maybe? Huh. Maybe a little further up? Oh. Maybe it opened up that way. Because this door back here is still locked. Or was still locked. Oh, this structure looks familiar. Probably gonna guess that inside of here is going to be a switch. Oh no, it's our last key. Oh, there is a switch too. But this looks kind of like how the structure for the switch that was guarding the first soul gate was. So that maybe opened up something at the top of that ramp to go to the next soul gate? And they dance together, so I guess it's only fitting that we take their heads together. We wouldn't want one of them to get lonely or anything. Yeah, we just heard that open. Ow, leapers. You guys aren't irritating pains in Turok 2 or anything like that, are you? No. No, why would I think that? Fun fact. While they're transforming to turn invisible, you can interrupt that animation and they immediately turn invisible. But there's not really a whole lot of level left, and this is our last in-level objective for this area. So we don't really have too much left to be able to go through. Just a few respawning dead men, and this last soul gate. Yeah, this has more health than I thought it would. There we go. And with that, we can finally wave bye-bye to the River of Souls. Horrible vacation spot, full of aging retirees that like to throw things at you for standing on their lawn. We're not going to be coming back anytime soon. Especially considering it seems to be floating over an endless void. Can't be good for your property rates. Can't jump down from up here, can I? I can! Yeah! Cool, that saves us a little bit of time. Because that almost dumps us right back out at the exit for the level. Now hitting that one switch that was up top. Okay. Hitting that one switch that was up top opens up this, which is just a short walk up to the exit. Now, for as irritating as I find leapers to be in Turok 2, I really like how they redesigned them from the first game. They're a good enemy. They'll almost always get a couple of good shots in on you, but I think they're a good enemy.
Totem, Turok.
And here we have our very last objective for the level. Oh, it's been a while since we've gotten any explosive shells. Apparently it wants to keep giving us normal arrows, though. And tech arrows. Well, as I was saying before, our only major goal for this area is to make the red bar go down before the green bar goes down. Win or lose, we're not going to be seeing these totems again after this. Now, doing the totems is pretty much going to be the same every time. We're just going to be using different weapons as we get better stuff to fight these entrails with. But I'm pretty positive it doesn't ever throw any different enemies at us. And the design of each one is unique to the area, but they don't really change that much. So we're just going to run around and try to pick up whatever ammo's left that we can grab before that happens and we get warped out. And with that, we can wave goodbye to the River of Souls completely, and wave hello to our newly acquired pen and ink mode. Next time, we're gonna step foot in the Death Marshes.
Greetings, Turok. How may I assist you?
But until then, good hunting.
Game saved.